Good day! Our lesson for today is all about rational inequalities. In this video, students will be able to, number one, need to define what is rational inequalities. Number two, solve rational inequalities. And lastly, identify the interval notation or the set notation. So what is rational inequality? Rational inequality is involving rational expression that contains an equality symbol of less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. For example, x plus 1 times x minus 1 all over x plus 2 is greater than 0 with having a symbol of greater than. Another one is 2 over x plus 2 is less than or equal to 5. Again, they have a symbol of less than or equal to 5. We have steps in solving rational inequality. Step number 1, put the rational inequalities in general form. What is the general form of the rational inequalities? The general form is P of x over Q of x is greater than or less than or greater than or equal to or less than or equal to 0. So this is our general form, always inequality to 0. Another step is you need to rewrite the inequalities into a single rational expression. Step number 3, set the numerator and denominator equal to 0 and solve because we need to find the value of our x. Step number 4, plot the critical values on the number line. Step number 5, substitute the critical values to the inequality to determine if the value of x is included or not. Yung mga nakuha yung x, kung kasama ba siya or hindi. In step number 6, select test values in each interval and substitute those values to the inequality. And lastly, you need to write or use the set notation to write the final answer. So let us have an example. 5x over x minus 1 is less than 4. Step number 1, you need to write this into general form. Paano? By transforming this positive 4 on the left side. So 5x over x minus 1, from positive 4, magiging negative 4 is less than 0. And then, we write this into single rational. So, paano gagawin? By getting the LCD, x minus 1. LCD divided by the denominator is x minus 1 divided by x minus 1 is 1 times numerator, which the answer is 5x. Then x minus 1 divided by 1 is x minus 1 times negative 4 is less than 0. Next, simplify. So, bring down 5x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4 all over x minus 1 is less than 0. Next, combine similar terms. 5x and negative 4x, they are unlike sign. That's why you need to subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1x or x plus 4 over x minus 1 is less than 0. Then another step is you need to get the value or the zeros of numerator and the denominator. So x plus 4 is equal to 0 and x minus 1 is equal to 0 para makuha natin yung value ng x. So, x is equal to, from positive, will become negative 4, and then x is equal to, from negative, magiging positive 1. So, the value of our x now is positive 1 and negative 4. Pag nakuha na yung value ng x, we need to plot the value of x in our number line, which is negative 4 and positive 1. Then we need to test kung yung value ba na nakuha nating x is included or not. So let us start. Substitute the value of our x. So x is equal to negative 4. So x plus 4 over x minus 1 is less than 0. So kung mapapansin nyo is less than 0. So ibig sabihin ano ba ang mga less than 0? So ibig sabihin all negative numbers. So kailangan if negative numbers yung nandito sa left side, so ibig sabihin this is true. Pag hindi, it means false. So substitute. So negative 4 plus 4 over 4 minus 1 is less than 0. So for negative 4 and positive 4, the answer is 0 over 3 is less than 0. So 0 divided by 3 is 0 is less than 0. It means it is false. So ibig sabihin, si negative 4 is not included. Kaya open circle. Pag hindi included, so we're using open circle. How about positive 1? So x is equal to 1. So substitute. So 1 plus 4 over 1 minus 1 is less than 0. So 1 plus 4 is 5 over 0 is less than 0. 5 divided by 0. What have you observed in our denominator? The denominator is 0. It means this is undefined is less than 0. It means we cannot define what is the exact value. So meaning this is also false. Sabihin si positive 1 is also an open circle. Ibig sabihin, ang positive 1 ay hindi kasama. Next, after nyo matest, how about on the interval of each values? Tingnan naman natin. For example, this is negative 5. X is equal to negative 5. So, negative 5 plus 4 over negative 5 minus 1 is less than 0. So, negative 5 minus 4 is negative 1 over negative 6 is less than 0. So, negative divided by negative, the answer is positive 1 over 6 is less than 0. So, meaning this is a positive. Positive is less than 0 means false. Sabihin, from negative 4, less than negative 4, it is not also included. How about the interval between negative 4 and 1? For example, 0. So, x is equal to 0. So, substitute 0 plus 4 over 0 minus 1 is less than 0. Then 4 over negative 1 is less than 0. So, positive 4 divided by negative 1, the answer is negative 4. So, meaning negative 4 is less than 0. So, ibig sabihin, this is true. Means, yung pagitan ng negative 4 at positive 1 is included on the solution. Next, how about the last interval? For example, this is 2. So, x is equal to 2. So 2 plus 4 over 2 minus 1 is less than 0. So 2 plus 4 is 6 over 1 is less than 0. So 6 is less than 0. So because the answer is positive, so meaning this is false. So how about in rewriting set notation to our final answer? So unahin muna natin si negative 4. Parenthesis, negative 4. Bakit daw parenthesis? Kasi si negative 4 ay hindi kasama. And positive 1 also ay parenthesis kasi si positive 1 ay hindi rin kasama. So this is our final answer. Another example. So 2 times x minus 4 over x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 3. So again, sulat natin to into general form by 2 times x minus 4 over x minus 2. From positive 3, pag nilipat on the left side, so magiging negative 3 is greater than or equal to 0. Then, rewrite this into single rational by getting the LCD, which is x minus 2. Then after that, your LCD, divide by the denominator. So, x minus 2 divided by x minus 2 is 1. And then, multiply by the numerator. So, 2 times x minus 4. Then, x minus 2 divided by 1 is x minus 2 times negative 3. Is greater than or equal to 0. Then simplify. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And then negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6 is greater than or equal to 0 all over x minus 2. Then combine. So 2x and negative 3x is unlike sign, so subtract. So 3 minus 2 is negative x. Negative 8 and positive 6, they are unlike sign, subtract. So 8 minus 6 is negative 2 over x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. Then after that, get the zeros of numerator and denominator. So negative x minus 2 is equal to 0. Then x minus 2 is equal to 0. So, negative x is equal to, from negative, magiging positive. Divide both side by negative 1. Kasi laging meron niyang 1 dito. So, cancel. So, natira is x is equal to negative 2. Next, about the other side. So, x is equal to positive 2. So, the value of our x is negative 2 and positive 2. Next step is you need to put your value of x on the number line. Ayan po. So, this is your negative 2 and positive 2. So, kailangan nating malaman kung yung negative 2 ba na to at yung positive 2 is included or not. So, by substitute the value of our x, for example, is negative 2. So, negative x minus 2 over x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. Dahil greater than ito, so ibig sabihin dapat ang lahat ng values na nandito is laging positive or equal to 0. So, let us start. So, negative times negative 2 minus 2 over negative 2 minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. So, this is positive 2 minus 2 over negative 4 is greater than or equal to 0. So, 2 minus 2 is 0. So, negative 4 is greater than or equal to 0. So, 0 divided by negative 4 is 0, is greater than or equal to 0. Ibig sabihin, the conditions is satisfied. That's why this is true. So, si negative 2 is, sishadan ko ng close hole. Bakit daw? Kasi, pag close hole or close circle, ibig sabihin si negative 2 is included. How about x is equal to positive 2? So, negative 2 minus 2 over 2 minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. Negative 2 and negative 2 is negative 4 over 0 is greater than or equal to 0. So, what have we observed? The denominator is 0, meaning this is undefined. Is greater than or equal to 0. It means we cannot find the value of our x because this is undefined. So, this is false. So, ibig sabihin, si positive 2 is open circle. Ibig sabihin, si positive 2 ay hindi included. How about on each interval? For example, pili tayo ng value ng x. Kunyari, sabihin natin this is negative 3. So, x is equal to negative 3. So, negative times negative 3 minus 2 over negative 3 minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. So, negative times negative is positive 3 minus 2 over negative 5 is greater than or equal to 0. So, 3 minus 2 is 1 over negative 5. So, meaning, the result is a negative. So, meaning, this is false. Ibig sabihin, from negative 2, less than negative 2 is not included also. How about between negative 2 and positive 2? For example, this is 0. So, x is equal to 0. So, 0 minus 2 over 0 minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. So, negative 2 over negative 2 is greater than or equal to 0. So, this is positive 1 is greater than or equal to 0. So, meaning this is true. Ibig sabihin, yung between ng negative 2 at ng positive 2 is included also. Ayan, sinishade natin. How about the last interval? For example, this is 3. So, x is equal to 3. Magiging negative 3 minus 2 over 3 minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. So, magiging negative 5 over 1 is less than or equal to 0. So, negative 5 divided by positive 1 is negative 5 greater than or less than 0. So, it means this is false. So, 2 greater than 2 is not included to 0. So, what is our final answer? We're writing this set notation. Unahin mo natin to si negative 2. So, negative 2. Gumamit ako ng bracket, negative 2. Bakit daw? Kasi si negative 2 is included. Ang bracket is symbol for included. And then positive 2, parenthesis. Bakit daw? Kasi si positive 2 is not included. That's why this is the set notation in this our final answer. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Teacher Ren TV. And then, click the notification bell para lagi kayong updated sa mga videos ko. Thank you!